Introduction to ordering decimals. Okay, so for this one, we're just going to use less than, greater than, or equal to compare decimals. So this one's a little bit more basic, but it is one that comes up for IM1, especially if you hit I don't know a lot, or maybe you just truly don't know this one. But in this account, if you've seen some of my earlier ones, I clicked I don't know through the test because I wanted to see everything it would give me. And believe me, it gives me a lot more topics than are necessary. So it's definitely not recommended to click I don't know. Try to do the ones that you already know so that you don't end up doing something like this that you may already understand. But Alex doesn't know that because you clicked I don't know. All right, so anyway, enough with that lecture. So we're just simply going to order them. So for this one, if I look at these two pieces, and I'm going to line them up like this because it's a little easier. So I want to see which one's bigger than the other. So zeros match, I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to move to the next number. 8s, those match. So now I'm going to look at 4 or 3. Which one's bigger? Well, 4 is bigger. So this is the bigger number. So when I write this out like this, so there's just a box in between, and you just fill it in. I think you can even click a button on the next page. So we want to make sure that it's open to the bigger number. That's how you know, because remember, it's kind of like alligator when we learned this in grade school. It wants to eat the bigger number. Now, I've always liked doing a Pac-Man idea here because Pac-Man's hungry, so Pac-Man wants the bigger number. So munch, 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 he eats 0.84. All right, the next one, so we have 0.2 and 0.20. So now we just look, zeros match, 2's match. There's a 0 here and there's nothing here. Well, nothing actually means 0. So that means they all match. Since they all match, we would just put an equal sign in between them like this. So we would just click on the equal sign for this one. All right, the last one, we have 7.2. We have 7.07. Remember, nothing means 0. I would fill that in with a 0 so you know what's there. So we have 7 and 7. Those match. I'm going to ignore them. So I keep wanting to move until I find something that doesn't match. So now I have 2 and 0. Well, 2 is bigger than 0, so I already know which one's bigger. So when I put this one on the screen, here are my two numbers. I want to make sure that Pac-Man here gets the bigger meal. So, and that's a really horrible looking Pac-Man because I drew my greater than symbol funny, but mainly just always have it open to the bigger number. And when it's pointing like this, the point should be pointing at the smaller number and it should be open to the bigger number. So if this is a greater than, if we use a less than, then that means the first number is smaller and the second number is bigger. So it's all that means. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to open a new page and we're going to go ahead and get started here. All right, so we have 1.92, 4.86. And I'm just going to put them all out here. 739. We're comparing that to 775. And then the third one is 0.05 and 0.7. Remember, if there's nothing, that means 0. And for this to work, you have to line up your decimals. If you're not lining up your decimals, then it won't compare easily. All right, so for this first one, this is super easy. 1 and 4. Well, 4 is definitely bigger than 1. So I know that I want this to be open, and I can just click the button here, open to the 4. I want it to munch to the 4. And you can also use your keyboard. You can click Shift and then the comma button for the less than symbol, like I just used above, or Shift and period for the greater than symbol. Dang it. Okay, so let's go ahead and compare this next one here. So we have 7 and 7. Those match. I want to ignore them. Let's go to the next column. 3 and 7. Well, 7's bigger than 3. So this is my bigger number. I want to make sure that this is, again, open to that bigger number, which happens to be another less than symbol. All right, on the bottom here, I have 0 and 0. I'm going to ignore. 0 and 7. Again, the second number is bigger because 7 is definitely bigger than 0. So all of these happen to be less than, which is just hey, it happens that way sometimes. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm just being lazy instead of erasing and doing new pages. All right, so I'm going to write them all out. We have 5, 3, 3, 9, 2, 5, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2. And remember, if nothing's there, that's a 0. And 7, 2706. And again, we have a nothing here, so we'll do this. And again, make sure you line up your decimals or this won't work. All right, so 5 and 9. This first one's super easy. I know, I know 9 is bigger than 5, so I already know that this is my bigger number. So I'm going to click less than again. So munch, munch, munch. It's eating the 9.25 because 5.33 is much smaller. All right, the second one. So we have 0 matching. Then we have 2's matching in our next column. And then because I put a 0, remember nothing means 0. They all match. If they all match, that means it's equal. Okay, now we have 7's matching. And we have our next column, we have 2 and 0. Well, 2 is definitely bigger than 0. So this one now is bigger. So now I finally get to use my greater than symbol because it's going to munch, munch, munch that way. Check. All right, and we finished another one.